more backstory. I was just a stay-at-home mom. My husband was trash man, and neither one of us. He was a college dropout. I didn't even go to college. So I was just living at home. But I did have a custom cake business that I spent several years building in my home, and it was really successful. Okay. I've been in magazines. I went out for TLC, Food Network. I actually turned down Food Network when I was going for my first promotion with It Works. So a really growing business, but even in Columbus, it's just not the market for that type of business. So the previous year, 2011, the year before, we got our tax return back. I was negative $1,000 after a year. And so I'm like, dude, that is not cutting it. Because, my husband, he's always worked, since we've, been together, he works 60 to 70 hours a week at his job. But you know what, just like most people, we're, check to check, not even that much, we never had anything extra. We're always struggling. I remember for years just thinking about, what is going to happen? I don't see any options in sight for us. How are things ever going to change, with our current circumstances? And so, so I was working really hard in my cake business, but then I was devastated by, not making any money from it. And so, but I was getting really burnt out on it. And so Terry, I'm like, as soon as I tried that wrap and it worked, okay, it worked, 45 minutes, I'm like, she didn't even do anything, and this girl just made $25. She sent it to me, I did it myself, and she made $25. And and she lives in a small town in Ohio, in Jackson. And so I'm like, and she was been in for just a few months, she got this big bonus, and she retired from her job in less than a year. She was a six-figure earner at her job, and in 1 year, she retired from that to do It Works full time. And she lives in Jackson, Ohio. I'm like, dude, I'm in Columbus. She can do that down there. I can do that up here. And so I did it just to I needed an extra $400 a month. Specifically, $410 a month is what I needed. So when I joined It Works, she showed me all those numbers, and I didn't believe none of that. That's not possible. I needed an extra $400 a month because we were, like I said, we lived, check to check. Didn't really have anything extra. I didn't have texting. 2 years ago, I had an old school flip phone. No texting. True. It was so bad. Okay, we drove 20-year-old car. It was just whatever. So a lot of people, and so we didn't have extra frilly stuff, and luckily we'd been smart, and so we didn't have a lot of debt either. But the only kind of extra thing that we had was I sent my son to a private Christian school near our home, and he was in preschool, and so preschool's only $150 a month, and I'm like, okay, I can wiggle $150 a month. But he was going into kindergarten, and tuition there went up to over $400 a month, and so it was over $4,000 a year to send him there, and I'm like, dude, there's no way that's ever going to happen. So when I tried that wrap, I'm like, okay, that's my $25. I can make $400 a month selling this wrap. I can, sell $400 worth of stuff, to do this. And so we were, one Sunday, we were laying there, watching TV, and I'd been thinking about it. And I was just like, I think I'm going to sell those wrap things that Terry's doing. And he was like, okay, whatever. I didn't tell him it cost money to sign up. I knew that, and I didn't tell him. Because he wouldn't let me do it if I told him that.
Caught me in the Sunday nap.
Yeah. Kind of out of it. He wasn't really paying attention. And so I snuck away for a few hours. I met Terry, and I signed up. I actually used, I took that $99. That was a lot of money to us back then. That's a lot of money. And so I was really scared. I actually took our grocery shopping money for the week, and I used that to buy my kit. And so I knew that I had to turn around, I had to sell those 4 wraps, or else I wasn't going to feed my family that week, and I'd have a really angry husband. And so, I left there, I signed up, and I just got to work. My first week, I sold 15 boxes of wraps. So I made $1,500 cash my first week. And so I'm like, that's huge. Awesome. I knew I had my hands on something. And so, like Anthony, I just kind of got in and started going to work. And Terry, she told me about this $10,000 get out of debt bonus that you can get. And one, I'm like, you know, I have plenty of friends. I mean, I still have friends on Facebook. They're with pink companies. They're still working for that car, you know, that they can drive, that people can still take away, you know, but it never happens. And so I'm like, all right, that's, you know, whatever. But then she told me, hey, I got this $10,000 bonus. I'm like, okay, like if my cousin did this, then I can do it. And so I remember I come home and I told him, I was so excited. And I told him, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just started this. I'm going to sell these wraps. I want to get this $10,000 bonus. And then there he was. He told me, I mean, I remember laying in bed and I was so excited. And then I told him, and he's like, you know, people aren't going to keep buying those things. He's like, you better live it up because this isn't going to last. He's like, he thought we were drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, I was getting, you know, everywhere. I wanted my black, green, and bling. And, you know, I just remember, like, you know, hearing them going, oh, I was so deflated. But then he just made me mad. Like, it just made me mad. And so I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm like, you told me I can't do it. I'm just going to go do it. And so I went to work. And I got my $10,000 in my first 7 weeks. And so I was like, okay, yeah. So 7 weeks, I got my $10,000 good bonus. After that, he kind of started paying attention when I told him I got a $10,000 bonus. He got dragged to a retreat in Florida. There was a contest, and I won. And I got to go on a trip to Florida with our ambassador at Florentine Hatcliffe. And he grudged me, like he was kicking and screaming to go. And so I finally dragged him. And that's when he got on board. So that's when he got on board with the business. And so that was 2 years ago in November. And so since then, this is what I do full time. This past March, I promoted to the rank of Triple Diamond. He promoted to Double Diamond. We got an additional $40,000 in good bonuses. But you know what's even more important? So on top of that, it's crazy, it's ridiculous. But on top of that, our team as a whole, we got $160,000 in good bonuses. And so, but it's just like what you said. It's from working as a team and doing it together because you're not meant to do this business by yourself.